Super Joe, I'm stuck with trying to find the right manufacturing company to make my invention product that can be used by recycled plastic so I can start my Kickstarter campaign. Whoo, Denny. Okay, so when you're looking, I guess let's start first. Where are you looking? Right? Are you looking just in your country? Are you looking just in your like literally anywhere? I mean, I'm not familiar with how difficult it is to use recycled plastic versus non-recycled plastic for opportunities or for manufacturing. But what I am familiar with is manufacturing like of metal products and things of that nature from my trucking, from my where's it at? My trucking background, right? So my truck parts background. If they're obviously working with recycled plastic is probably not that easy. Just a wild guess considering most products aren't made from recycled plastic. So you really might have a sticky problem on your hand as far as finding who that manufacturer is going to be. I also don't know if there's so like if this was food, I've been around food processors before where the problem that they have with anything with peanuts, it pretty much has to shut the line down, clean everything. It's a very intensive process for them to deal with anything that has peanuts in it. So I didn't know if that is part of the problem. Denny, if you could fill me in while I'm speaking here about what other issue or what issue they're having with working with recycled plastic, would be awesome. And he says yes, only in the USA and Google. Well, that's awesome. Ding ding. I'm all for keeping manufacturing jobs here in the United States as much as possible. I think it's very important that we be able to manufacture things here long term. I get that there's lots of EPA restrictions and cost of goods, cost of people, insurance, and all these things. But I think as we get closer to, in America that realizes that like, hey, we need to be able to manufacture this stuff too. There's way and the other thing is we're also going to be more, I would think, more apt to care about the environment and how we're producing said factories and what we're producing within the country as far as like forever chemicals and things of that nature. So I'm excited to hear something about being able to create things out of recycled plastic. I forget who it was. Somebody asked in the comments like, why aren't plastic bags recyclable and what can we do? And I should have actually I might actually have one upstairs. I have a gray plastic bag that says it's printed on it like this bag is gray because it was made with recycled plastic, which is awesome. Then I got me thinking like, is that the reason? Is that all this was about? This recycled bag thing is we can't use make things out of recycled bags because it won't be clear or white? Is that the whole hold up here to not utilize them? Now I don't know what kind of energy cost goes into utilizing to making recycled plastic or bags that are made out of recyclable bags or recyclable plastic. I mean, recycled plastic in general is a whole thing. I mean, I was watching, I think, a Kirkazar video explaining like why we can't just make everything out of plastic or recycled plastic, or why we can't recycle most plastics. Maybe it wasn't Kirkazar, maybe it was a Vice video or something like that. But explaining like, hey, we can't, we just don't have the capability of doing that. And most of the plastics that we make things out of aren't recyclable. So I'm like, well, why aren't we just making everything out of recyclable plastic or recycled plastic? It seems like it should be an easy thing to fix, but I'm guessing that it must not be because we probably would have did it already. So, Danny, getting back to you, the questions that you need to ask. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Denny's trying to find the company to find the company to product. It is a headache. I don't know who to start with. Just trying to find the company to. Okay, so the company that you're going to make the product with in general. I would, I think that, so you've been Googling it. I, yeah, I don't, I mean, I'm kind of curious as to how many businesses or how many manufacturers there are in America in general that work specifically with plastic, let alone recycled plastic. So I'm really not sure. But what I would do is I would put together some questions that you have for those manufacturers that kind of check those boxes so you could get to your answer. Oh, a company to produce it is a headache. Okay. Define the company to produce it as a headache. I don't know who to start with. Yeah, I would like I said, I would start with by putting some questions together, and then going to as many of those websites that you can find that offer this kind of stuff, and see if you can send some emails out. Put some feelers out and just see, like, is that something that they do, right? So I know that when I get stuck with something that I'm not super certain about it or this or that, I end up having to go and create a checklist. I was going to pick up my book. Yeah, I go and create a checklist of the things that need to be done so that I know what I have to check off my list. And that is, I mean, it just makes it so much easier, right? Because you're just looking at the steps. Like, what do I have to do next? What do I have to do? I also use Trello, Trello.com, Trello.com. And just, it breaks those things down. You can put in like templates, create that template email and just start sending out those emails. And then if you're not, the ones you maybe not hear back from, pick up the phone, give them a call, right? Pick the phone up, give them a call. See what they got going on. See if it's something that they even are able to take on. So I would just start with any plastic manufacturing company in the U.S. period, and then maybe I don't know, but if that starts to look like it's kind of dry, then I would kind of broaden it and maybe look at like some metal manufacturing companies, right? And I guess the other thing is I don't know if they have recycled plastic filament for like 3D printers, if that's like an option for you. I'm not sure what your product is, so I'm not able to speak on that directly, but that might be something as well. Just enough to get you that Kickstarter campaign video so that you can put it out there and say, okay, like we're doing this, and like here's our prototype, and we have, and hopefully you'll have somebody. If nothing else, if you don't have a full-on prototype just yet, then, and to show those manufacturers, getting yourself a 3D printed one. There's plenty of websites like I would just Google like, where can I get something 3D printed. If you don't already have, something like that together, like some like diagrams or something to that effect to be able to get it printed. So if you get it printed, there might even be a local printer to you. You get it 3D printed, then you can go and say, okay, look, this is exactly what I'm looking for, and then bake that into your questions. But I would start just with like emailing as many plastic manufacturing companies as possible, if not manufacturing companies, and go from there. Yeah, I mean that's without having more information. That's the best I could do, and apparently that is good enough. Awesome. Glad I could. Please, Denny, any questions you have, please feel free to come back and ask them.